It is April 5th, 2021. We're here on the rooftop of the property at 3659 Mission Boulevard in San Diego, California, 92109. Here's the property here, just panning around. You can see that this is adjoined to the two garages with the unit above it, which is 3659. We'll go and inspect that line after we get to this pipe. So right here above the bathroom, we have an original 4-inch cast iron vent. This will lead directly into the beginning of the sewer main for this property. Nobody's home at the property right now, so we won't be able to run any water from the inside, but we'll see if we put the camera through here. Sometimes some debris gets caught on the lens initially. Just a bunch of cockroach German water bugs there. Going down this dry vent pipe, and then right here you can see the kind of change in color, and that's right here on the bottom and whole left hand side of the screen. That's where the toilet dumps into the system. So this is the very beginning of the sewer main, and then right underneath this T where the toilet dumps into, you can see it's been converted to ABS black plastic. So somebody's replaced the cast iron in the crawl space here, which is a good thing. So right here we have the end of our vertical. We're making the immediate transition into the horizontal sewer pipe. So we're now running across this horizontal sewer main here. We're going to see some T-junctions, one right there. So we have our shower, our sink, and then eventually our kitchen also will all dump into the system off these T's. Now, this should be running towards the alleyway, so this should go across and run underneath the garages, which has the laundry, and again, then the 3659.5 unit teeing into that. So continue down this line here to verify there's no issues. We're basically looking for improper slope or areas that hold water called the sag. We're looking, of course, for root intrusions. We're looking for any foreign objects or any construction debris, as well as any improper turns or connections on the system. Here's that other T-junction, and then right here we connect into the original cast iron again. So we're going back into the original cast iron right here, which is probably really close to the foundation wall. So they didn't dig up in between the house and the garage, jackhammer and saw cut all the concrete. So that's why this is still original original cast iron right here under the concrete. So we transition back into the cast iron here. But as you can see, the cast iron here so far looks nice and open. A lot of times we will get deposits and scale and build up on the walls of the pipe, especially the bottom and the sides, but so far this looks really good. Some more little German cockroach water bugs there. Again, overall, very good condition still for the aged original cast iron. If we don't come into any plastic ABS or a T-junction, it's possible that the unit above the garage was built at a later date and has its own complete lateral. And again, we will be inspecting that one from the clean out that there is in the garage, because that is newer plastic. But we'll see if we continue down here if it does connect into it. Looks like we've got a little towelette or a wipe there that was flushed down the line at some point and snagged down the line. Of course, toilet paper is the only paper product that should be flushed down the line. All the wipes and towelettes that do say flushable are not meant to really be flushed. They only say that because the sewer treatment plants from the city said they would accept them, but they will not dissolve or break apart, and they will snag and clog up a line, whether it's plastic, cast iron, or in this case you can see now clay pipe. So here the cast iron is ending, and we're now transitioning to clay pipe. So this is 4-inch clay. Looks like we have a little T-junction on the upper right-hand side of the screen right there. That might have been the original, what we call property line cleanout. We have a turn on the line. And there we go. There's the end of this lateral for this 3659. Here's the large city sewer pipe right here. So from the rooftop, it's a little over 81 feet out. So everything's in good condition. The original clay and the original cast iron are completely fine. Do not require any repair or maintenance on the line, and I don't see it anytime in the near future as well. Again, as you saw that one wipe on there, the only thing to be cautious of if it's a rental or an Airbnb, of course, is again to remind everybody that only toilet paper, feces, and then the kitchen food debris is only things that should be going down the line other than liquids. All the other paper products, feminine hygiene products, wipes, towelettes, even if they say flushable, will clog up and cause a stoppage, but nothing is needed on this line right now. So what we're going to do is we are going to leave this camera in the system right here, and we're going to go ahead and grab a second camera and go from the clean out that we have for the 3659.5 unit from the garage to verify if that one clay junction is where it touches into, or if it's a complete separate line and they don't interact at all. Okay, so we're now here in the garage below 3659. What we're showing is the ceiling of the garage right there. You can see that's all the ABS plastic pipe. It's all brand new. That's the kitchen line right there running over and across, and then connects to the bathroom that's right there. And then that 3-inch turns into 4-inch plastic, and then the 4-inch goes to this corner and then comes down the wall behind this little miniature soffit right here. And then here's a clean out. When we got here, this barcode sticker was still on the clean out, so it looks like they've never needed to access the line before, so it's never backed up probably. So we'll go down this plastic pipe, because again, this is all brand new. Okay, there's our T-junction right there that picks up the kitchen and little laundry dump in from the other side of the garage. And here you can see the plastic. It's got a little bit of standing water in the pipe because what you're looking at right there is a large amount of buildup and scale and deposits that the cast iron has. So we mentioned this from the first video that didn't look really thick or heavy, but on the bottom there's always at least a little bit. So when we back up again, this one, it is a little bit of flatter on the bottom, and that's that amount of debris you see. So the alignment is essentially correct on there. But usually what we try to do, or some companies do, we'll take a carbide bit from a Dremel and try to remove that so it's not a solid wall. It's more of a slow, steady ramp transitioning into there. But again, there's no sign this is probably ever backed up. The clean out wasn't opened up, and we're not seeing any paper, feces, or anything clogged there. This turn right here that we made into this horizontal is really close to the vertical, so you've got everything really traveling at a pretty rapid pace coming down that vertical pipe to push through this little hiccup here. So essentially this is just a little area that's holding water, not due to it being sagged or improper slope. It's just that there's accumulated buildup on the transition to the cast iron pipe. So we'll kind of jump over that with the camera. There you go. So on this cast iron, you can see right there on the left-hand side is a little mound of the buildup and deposits. The other pipe was nice and rounded still on the bottom. This one's kind of flat and got that mounding. So a little bit rougher texture on this one here. You can see a little bit of buildup right there, and then a little bit of toilet paper is snagged on there, but it's inconsequential. It's very, very small, negligible. So same thing here, little pockets and pools of water for this short distance because of that buildup and scaling. And right here, we're going down at a little bit heavier pace, which is a good thing with the slope at least. But still a lot of buildup and scale and deposits formed on the whole bottom and bottom sides there. But nothing's accumulated, so unlikely they'd have a bunch of stoppages here to deal with. Okay, now here's the T-junction right here that's again called the property line clean out, and we'll look at the alleyway and see if any of these are exposed. But we saw the original one on the clay line. This is the original one for the cast iron line here for this drain. So there are two separate pipes so far. Got a little transition going down, And then same thing, so you can see that's a little towelette or wipe. You can see from the texture of it that's snagged and caught on the line right there. But we only see one of them. There's actually another clean out right there on the clay, so that might have been one that the city and their workers put in when they were building the streets and the roads here in the alleyway. So that clean out right there, again, maybe in the alleyway. It's not typical they expose those and bring those to surface. Got a little bit of debris on our camera lens there. We apologize. What we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to leave the video recording. We're going to go ahead and turn on this kitchen sink in the garage area here, so he's going to clean that off. Okay, so within a few seconds here, we're going to start to see water come by the camera lens here because we have the cold water running full blast on that kitchen sink, which is right next to the laundry, which has its own little standpipe. It's all plastic ABS, so that's all been upgraded and is newer piping. There we go, there's the water finally coming by. Finally cleaned up our lens just a little bit there, just to make sure we don't miss anything. It should be a slight turn right here. See another little offset in the clay pipe right there for the hub. It's negligible, it's not a big deal. There we go, and there's our dump into the city line, so just a few more feet out. So we're going to go ahead and shut that water off on the kitchen. Okay, so that little kitchen faucet, which is again a utility sink in the garage here, we've just turned that off. So this is the end of this lateral line here, about 23 feet out till it dumps into the alleyway there, where it gets into the large pipe for the city. So everything looks good. There's no clay, there's no roots in the clay or anything else like that. No other issues. We're just going to push down this just to show. So this is the large pipe right here. That's why the view doesn't look as good, because we're in a very large 6 to 12 inch pipe right there. So we'll now go ahead and pull back on the system right here. So there's the end of the line right there. So the other front house was a little over 81 feet, and this one's a little over 22 feet, and then you're into the city pipe. So we'll come back across this line right here. See that little water residual running and the piping right there from when we ran the utility sink here. Come back across here. Some of that water in the line. And there's the one T-junction we see right there. We'll go ahead and turn that water back on and confirm that that's the plastic dump in. And there you go. You can see the water now flowing in that we turned back on again. So this is all plastic piping for the main sewer, including the drain lines for this back unit. The front unit is plastic for the main sewer until you get to the edge of the house, but the cast iron is in good condition. The only line we haven't looked at is the kitchen line for the front or 3659 unit. Nobody's home, so we don't have access. We'll look to see if there's a clean out on the side of the property, but we may not be able to look at that one to verify if it's plastic or cast iron. If it is cast iron, then it's rare we can get our camera through those anyway, but we'll just try to verify that. This one we can see from the garage inside, and this T-junction, this is all plastic. So we're now going to pause and move back to the front unit, 3659. Okay, so we're now back here on the rooftop of the 3659. There's our first camera system that's still in the main sewer. Here's our second one, and this is the vent right here for the kitchen, at least it should be. Again, nobody's home at the property here, but there's no clean out on the side. If there's any cast iron, we're not going to continue to try to push through here because a lot of times the camera won't make it. It'll get stuck, or it'll cause a stoppage with all the food or buildup that's in there. So, okay, there's a 45-degree turn on this vent, which is pretty typical with vent pipes, unfortunately. So the camera's not going to make this turn right here. This is a small 1.5-inch pipe. The camera's only 1 inch in diameter, but it has some length to it. So we're not going to be able to force our camera through this. So we can't look at the kitchen line. We'll maybe look at in the crawl space. We're assuming they had a home inspection already out to look at this, and they might have gotten into the crawl space and verified if the kitchen drain line was plastic, been replaced and upgraded, or if it was still cast iron. So if it's still cast iron, all that means is that it might be more susceptible, of course, to drain stoppages, and at some point, if it corrodes and deteriorates, it may have to be replaced with ABS. But we're not going to be able to get a camera into that part of the system just to verify. So everything looks good on this system, does not require anything at this time. And the couple little minor things on the back unit are just some misaligned sections of clay to clay and the plastic to cast iron, but they're negligible, they're not an issue, they're not going to cause stoppages. Everything else is in good working condition here at the property. So that concludes this recording.